What's going on, people, and welcome to Man Knows Football. You are here for a post-match review of yet another loss from Chelsea Football Club, and this time from a team that I definitely did not want to lose against. I hate losing to Arsenal with a passion, and now this is 3 times in a row at Stamford Bridge, the 3rd season in a row where Arsenal have got a result, and as usual we keep gifting them. Last time it was Christensen, this time it was just several players that just shocking schoolboy defending. The way that corner just evaded everyone still was a mystery to me. We're going to get into that obviously in the main content, man, but Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1 over at Stamford Bridge today, a game that we desperately needed to win. But obviously, before I get into the content, please do these things for me. Smash that subscribe button if you are new. Leave your thoughts down there in the comments as well. Smash a like so we get up in the algorithm. And hit the notification bell so you know when the videos are coming out. So, Graham Potter decided to go with the back 4 today. I was a bit worried about that, I'm not going to lie. My worry was on that right side with Azpilicueta being isolated by Martinelli. And also in that middle with Jorginho being present. We needed a physical presence there, which is why I was advocating for Dennis Zakaria. But I was pleasantly surprised. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to start off with the positives first. This game was a bunch of shit, but I've got to really find the positives. Otherwise, you're going to have to cry. Do you know what I'm saying? So, the positives for me were that the back 4 didn't struggle as much as I thought they did. I'm going to start off with Azpilicueta. I thought he done all right in his one-on-ones with Martinelli. Yes, he was beat a couple times, but I thought he also was strong against him as well. It was an even battle on that side. I thought Trevor swept up well. On the other side as well, I thought Cucurella done all right with his one-on-ones on Saka. Granted, he did give away a few fouls. He did also get beat a few times as well. Gave away the ball cheaply a bit, but in terms of doing his defensive duties, I thought Cucurella was all right. And I also thought Thiago Silva was okay. We're going to come on to some of the mistakes that he made as well into the game. But today was, and don't get it twisted, yeah, that's the only positives that I see. Raheem Sterling as well, I'm going to give him a bit of props. I think he was the best out of a bad bunch, if I'm being completely honest. But we're going to get into it, man. Arsenal completely dominated the game. And as several teams have done before, it's very simple. It's an easy formula. You see them do it in Europe. You see them now do it in the Premier League. If you don't let Chelsea play out from the back, you press them on their first touch, we are going to panic. We're going to give away the ball cheaply. They're going to force mistakes and they can get goals from there. There were several warning signs of that happening. There was no inspiration in this side whatsoever. Our midfielders are not showing for the ball. Anytime our centre-backs are stepping forward, we've just turned over possession. We've got an opportunity to transition. No midfielder, Jorginho, Loftus-Cheek, nobody's coming to show for the ball, transition to that attack and really just try and cause problems for Arsenal. It was too easy for them. It was very easy for them to press us out of the game. That's what they continue to do. They dominated. We were lucky to not go 1-0 down in the first half. A good ball from Martinelli from that left side. Gabriel Jesus really should have put that header away, but we got lucky, we got life. But outside of that, we did have opportunities to hurt Arsenal, particularly in the first half. A couple of transition opportunities. Kai Havertz with the best of them all, but just really summing up Chelsea as a whole. But he really, again, has let me down today. 2 opportunities to play in Aubameyang, who's just unmarked in the box, just loses his marker completely. But Kai Havertz fails to just produce the cutback time and time again. Why is it that when we're in dangerous positions into the final third, we've got players in good positions, it's either we're making the wrong decision, the right decision's made and the execution isn't quite there, or the transition's too slow. It's the same story from Chelsea Football Club. I felt Graham Potter as well, he needs to hold some blame in terms of the personnel that he picked to start this game as well. And I felt that when he saw we were struggling to get any kind of control in that midfield, there was the time to really be thinking about bringing Zakaria on, who showed what he was about in Europe. Now, I know it's two different teams and Arsenal was sitting high in the top of the Premier League, but there are attributes that he could have brought to this game that could have settled our midfield and perhaps given us a little bit more control. Now, I want to be fair to Jorginho. In the first half, I thought he done all right in terms of his defensive duties. It was one of the better defensive displays that I've seen from him, so well done from him on that standpoint. But for his main job, where his job is to pick up that ball in the middle of the midfield, dictate tempo like I'm told, really just turn and transition the ball. We saw him do that once in the second half, a beautiful ball for Raheem Sterling, but we didn't see it enough. We didn't see it enough. Ruben Loftus-Cheek as well. I've been told we should try him as a DM. Today showed why you can't. receiving the ball in front of that defence and losing it the way he did is criminal. That's absolutely criminal. He's not good enough with the ball under pressure in front of that defence. He's gonna put our defence under pressure every single time. Again, forcing our centre-backs to make mistakes or to go long. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make no sense. Thiago Silva, anytime he's winning the ball, he's stepping out with it, he's picking up his head, he's got no short options whatsoever, so he's forced to play a long ball. Midfielders are not coming to show for the ball, there's no options around him, there's zero movement. Something that I saw against Salzburg being done to a T excellently. Yeah, we didn't even try it today. It was absolutely, it was cowardice at its finest. It was absolute cowardice. Our front three today, feeding off scraps. I thought Kai had opportunities to really play them in and he didn't. Wrong decisions were being made. Aubameyang today was an absolute ghost. I'm not even going to look at this whole adverse situation with, yeah, Obama Blue and all this kind of situation, bruv. It's a contractual thing. He had to do it. It is what it is, man. So, ha, whatever. But still, a poor game from him, in my opinion. But was he really getting the ball and was he really being fed when he needed to? I thought the runs he was making was good. I thought the runs Sterling was making was good. But again, they're not being rewarded. Opportunities when ball should be playing forward, it's either the execution is off or the backwards pass is always being made. Backwards. This thing with our attack is concerning. This thing with our midfield, actually, the root problem is concerning. We spent a lot of money in the summer, nearly £300 million, but we did not address the root problem, which is why I've been saying, although people have been throwing that price tag to me, oh, you spent this and you're not expecting top four, you're crazy. What kind of fan are you? If you are not addressing the root problem, which is the midfield issue, you're going to be in trouble. You're 100% going to be in trouble. And there are some players that are just not helping their case. We got to get rid of a lot of players. There's some players that are just not good enough for the club. I'm not going to go through names again. I'm not going to start a whole quote-unquote agenda and campaign. You lot by now know who they are. Us as a club, I'm just hoping for... Look, this World Cup has come as a blessing in disguise. Why? Because it brings us a month closer to January. And we desperately need to do the correct work in January because this is shocking. Today, absolutely no grit whatsoever. We look like the away team. Arsenal pressed us out of the game completely. Thomas Partey had an easy game. Xhaka had a very simple game. Odegaard, I thought, could have had a better performance considering all the opportunities that were made available to him. The execution of his pass was great. Really should have scored and made it 2-0 for Arsenal. Should have been out of sight, but didn't. It was, man... There was literally no presence or any defensive quality in that midfield, so there was nothing for the transition. There was nothing to protect that back line. The same story over and over again. Thiago Silva, I'm hearing he made mistakes. Is he past it, this, that and the other? Like I said, he's got no options in front of him. This guy's being forced to step out with the ball into that midfield against a renowned pressing team like Arsenal, and he's forced to find options and go long for himself. Crazy. The substitutions for me were crazy. Kovacic coming on was mad. I felt that he should have started the game. Broja coming on, I thought that was a good substitution. You saw what he was made of, but it goes to show again, should he be trusted ahead of Kai Havertz at this point? Because when he came on, he definitely made more an impact. He looked a lot more dangerous. His decision making was better. Gallagher came on as well. Just that energy to really try and press from the front. I thought he done all right. He actually showed some kind of grit. But again, it wasn't good enough. Arsenal, they came, they played like they was in the Emirates. They just... They didn't even come out of first gear. They didn't come out of first gear. And I said in the preview, Arsenal are not going to come and sit. They're going to come and try and control the game. If we can weather that for the first 25, 30 minutes or so and we try and put a foot and get our result in this game, that would have been a good way. But today, we let ourselves down. I feel a substitution should have been made in terms of Zakaria coming on, at least for Ruben Loftus-Cheek, to give us some presence in that midfield. We didn't see him come on. Raheem Sterling, you could see today, I thought he done all right compared to other games, but I felt his frustration. There was one point where he done well to win possession in that midfield, you know, turned, tried to drive forward, looked up for options. There was nobody around him. He even put his arms up like, where is everybody? Our players are starting to get frustrated at this. The quality that we have at Chelsea as a squad, let's face it, when we have 2 injuries, we are not good enough. N'Golo Kante injury prone. For long term, he's not going to be at the club. We know this. Reece James, we know he's injury prone. I'm not even surprised he's out now. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's several factors that go into this, but it's not good enough. It's not good enough. We didn't address what we needed to address in the summer. Sacking Thomas Tuchel when we sacked him made absolutely no sense at all. Graham Potter's got a big job on his hands, and clearly it's a rebuild. It's a huge rebuild project. There's a lot of dead wood that still needs to leave this club. Absolutely, man. But today, the fact that we didn't test the goalkeeper at all at Stamford Bridge was an embarrassment. It was an embarrassment. But I guess it's got to get worse to get better. We're at that stage now. I hate to be the one to say it, but regardless of 300 million spent, another manager coming in, even if you bought a top-class manager into Chelsea right now, I still feel that you're not really going to be getting the results that you're looking for. Granted, Graham Potter, again, I felt he showed a bit of naivety today. I will say done well to stick out for as long as we did, not to concede. But the manner in which we conceded that goal was absolutely pathetic. First of all, Thiago Silva losing the ball the way he did. Am I entirely going to blame him? No, it was good pressing from Gabriel Jesus. There was just no presence in the midfield or no options around him to come and receive the ball. Thiago Silva was left again in no man's land, having to step far forward. Yeah, now that the turnovers happened, you put pressure on our defence. We've done well to concede the corner. Now this is where it gets shocking. Have a look at this picture. Can somebody please tell me how, one, Jorginho has allowed Saliba to get across him, two, how Kai Havertz has missed that ball, three, how Thiago Silva's missed that ball, and four, how you can blame Mendy for allowing that to get to the back post and go in, although he got a hand on it. Because for me, if I'm the goalkeeper, I'm expecting one of those three. Yeah, if you want to blind Jorginho and say, okay, Saliba got in front of him, put him out there, but at least one of those two to deal with that. They didn't. So by the time he gets to it, he's got to react late. Back post, Gabriel, right place, right time, goal, 1-0. On the balance of things, is it a deserved lead for Arsenal? 100%. They've been controlling the game up to that point. And yet again, they forced mistakes, they got their reward. We have inflicted damage upon ourselves once again against Arsenal Football Club. Once we were 1-0 up, I'm not going to lie, they were 1-0 up, I'm not going to lie to you. I had no feeling whatsoever. I had no belief in the fact that we was going to get back in the game purely from what we saw. We had been outplayed, we got nothing in that midfield. It was a cowardly, shocking performance, pathetic decision making from some of our players. And it is what it is. Arsenal have now leapfrogged Manchester City, who have gone back to the top of the table and are now in this quote-unquote title race currently. Let's see if they drop away later in the season. I hope it happens. I really do. I don't want to see Arsenal winning the Premier League. It's just not going to be nice for the rest of us fans. But people, let me know what you think, man. I am massively disappointed by this performance from us today. Another thing that frustrated me, towards the end of the game, it became hoofball. And guess who was the focal point for that? Raheem Sterling. We are playing long balls to Raheem Sterling because no one's showing in the midfield. And why Raheem Sterling is even that central focal point when Breuer's on the pitch is concerning to me. It's absolutely concerning. Graham Potter really needs to look at himself when it comes to that, because fans are already starting to say Potter out. Fans are already starting to question his credentials at the top level. For me, I think it's very knee-jerk. I think it's very reactionary, but he does need to improve. And January, I hope Chelsea back him and we get what we need. We address the root problems, because if we continue like this, there's going to be big problems ahead. But people, thank you very much for watching the video. I wish I could have come back on happier terms. Now my week is going to be completely ruined. Back again is going to be long. There are going to be several Arsenal accounts that are going to be after my head as well. So yeah, man, thank you Chelsea for putting in such a spineless performance. It is what it is. But people, man, smash that subscribe button if you are new. Smash the like button as well. Leave your thoughts down there in the comments and hit the notification bell so you know when the videos are coming out. Up the Chels, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, please make sure you stay safe. Bless.